Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new archetype called the Brave tokens, which I'm guessing are kind of related to tokens, but I honestly have no idea. But if you're excited about a new Yu-Gi-Oh archetype, drop a like on this video because we're about to see one. I'm curious to see if it's any good. So anyways, yeah, Brave token theme. Anyways, right of Archetype CA, over here is a new spell card, and it says that you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. And it says that you cannot activate monster effects on the field the turn you activate this card, except for special summon monsters, as if that's like a difficult effect. The first part of it says you can control no Brave tokens. You can special summon a Brave token, Fairy Earth, level 4, 2000 attack, and 2000 defense points. Then, if you do not control a Journey of Destiny, you can place one Journey of Destiny from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone. The next card is going to be their first monster called the Magicite Warrior of the Ruins, which is a level 4 warrior fire effect monster, 2300 attack and 1000 defense points. It says you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effect is while you control a Brave token, you can special summon this card from your hand. The second effect is you cannot attack while you control no Brave tokens. The third part is, at the end of the battle phase, if your monster that specifically lists the token, Brave token in its text battle, you just set one trap that specifically lists token, Brave token in its text directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. So looks like they're all about getting the back row as well as, I guess, getting tokens. Next up, though, we have the Wandering Griffin Rider. It's going to be level 7 Wing Beast effect monster with the attack of 2000 and the defense of 2800. And it says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effect is during the main phase, you control no monsters or you control a Brave token. As a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. The second part is when a card or effect is activated, if you control a Brave token. As a quick effect, you can shuffle this card into the deck, and if you do, negate that activation. If you do, destroy that card. I mean, this is actually a really good effect. Being able to have a quick effect, special summon it, pop something, get rid of it, and negate the activation and destroy. So it has the things that we need: negate and destroy in a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Although shuffling the card back in the deck, I mean, you could just run Solemn and they would stop that outright, and you wouldn't have to, you know, lose out on a card. I guess Solemn you'd have to pay the life points, but it does have some conditions that need to be met. But let's see the rest of the cards because they're all about, I guess, the back row. At least so far with the other cards. Journey of Destiny is a new continuous spell card that says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. And it says that during your main phase, you can add to your hand one monster from your deck that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text, then send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Second part is if a monster or monsters is normal or special summon, you can add to your hand or equip one Brave token you control. Equip one spell from your deck that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text. The third part is each turn, the first time a monster or monster you control will be destroyed by battle while he's equipped with an equipped card, it is not destroyed. This at least protected it from being, like, let's say, targeted or destroyed by card effects, because battle is just too outdated, I would say, in Yu-Gi-Oh, but they got lots of stuff, so let's check out the rest of them. Next up, though, we have the Noble Arms of Light Daniel, which is an equipped spell card that says equipped to only a monster you control, and says that you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. You can only control one Noble Arms of Light Daniel. The second part is the equipped monster gains 500 attack for each monster with a different name you control that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text. Third part is if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Brave token you control. Equip this card to that monster you control. So it's basically, if this card go away, you're gonna boost something else. So still mediocre at the end of the day. Next up, we have the Starlit Papalion, which is an equipped spell card that says equip only to a monster you control. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effect is you can only control one Starlit Papalion. The second part is monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack for each monster with a different name you control that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text. The third effect is if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Brave token you control and equip this card to that monster you control. Okay, so everything's about, like, boosting up attack and defense, or attack and then lowering the attack of the other card. Very interesting. You know, a concept for a deck. Next up, though, we have Draco Back the Dragon Steed. It's an equipped spell card that says equip only to monsters you control. It says you can only use the second and third effects of this card's name once per turn. The second part is, while this card is equipped to a non-effect monster, you can target one card your opponent controls and return to the hand. The third effect is, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Brave token you control and equip this card to that monster you control. So it's trying to support equipping the things to tokens now, I guess, right? I think that's the idea. Next up, though, is this 2 different cards or like okay, I think one of it's just like different art. No, it's not different art at all. One of them, I guess one of them is just zoomed in a little bit more. Anyways, this is Zaraham, the Dark Temple. It's a field spell. It says it's the first part. While you control a monster equipped with the noble arms of light Daniel, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase. The second part is during or once per turn, when your Brave token destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. The third part is once per turn, if you activate this card, the second effect previously this turn, you get to add to your hand 1 field spell in your deck or graveyard that specifically lists token, Brave token in its text, except for Zaraham, the Dark Temple. It says, this card's third effect was incorrectly shown as having no limitation on how many times it can be activated. Its text was updated on the news page. Okay, so they eroded the card already? Okay. Nonetheless, yeah, well, I mean, like, you would have to have something destroy an opponent's... Okay, so you can't, like... Oh, okay. I mean, being able to add double, but this is also, all the effects are once per turn. I mean, if this didn't have that, like, once per turn, you could potentially OTK, but there's so many decks that can OTK already in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think that that's that big of a deal. Next up, though, we have the Woods of Lost Flowers. I'm not sure why there's, like, 2 pictures. I don't know if this was, like, a bug or something, but these ones look exactly the same, but there's just 2. Anyways, field spell card that says your monsters equipped with Starlit Pen are unaffected by any card effect activated by your opponent. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. And then once per turn, when your Brave token destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw 1 card. Third effect is once per turn. If you activate this card, the second effect previously this turn, you can add to your hand 1 field spell in your deck or graveyard that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text, except for the Woods of Lost Flowers. It says no, this third effect was incorrectly shown as having no limitations. Okay, so it's also like you can only search 1. Okay, still same thing as the other card. Next up, though, we got their trap support. So let's check out the next one, which is the Thunder Discharge. Here is the artwork on this, and it is also going to be a normal trap. It says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. The first part is if you control a Brave token, target one of your monsters equipped with an equip card that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls with equal or lower attack as possible. Then you can equip 1 equip spell from in your hand or graveyard that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text inappropriate to an appropriate monster you control. Okay. Next up, though, we have the Resurrection Breath. It's a normal trap card that says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. First part is if you control a Brave token, spell summon up to 2 monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard, but banish them if they leave the field. Then you get to equip 1 spell card in your hand or graveyard that specifically lists the token Brave token in its text to an appropriate monster you control. This card is actually pretty insane. I mean, just if you have a token, you get to have double monsters. I mean, from the hand, it's like, man, but from the graveyard, it's kind of good. Although the best card for the effect of, like, you know, the negate and it bounces back to the deck, right? Which I believe, hold on, I gotta double check. That was the, that's the wind one, right? You can shuffle this card into the deck. Okay, if this card tributed itself or whatever, the quick effect can be send it to the graveyard, it needs to be there because that is their hands down best card, at least right now in the archetype. But being able to get out double monsters and then equip, that could be really good. I mean, yeah, it banishes when it leaves the field, but that could have been something good. At least that way you could get the effect twice. Next up, I'm guessing Hidden Armories or reprint didn't really specify what it was, but that's my guess on that. But let me know, guys, what you think of the new Brave token archetype. At first glance, right now, at least, they only got 1 good monster, which is the one that, like, negates and destroys, but it goes back into the deck instead of going to the graveyard, so you can't, like, recycle it. I feel like the archetype's a little bit underdeveloped right now. Like, we gotta have a lot more cards, but at least at first glance, I would say this deck is gonna be meh. Not meta, but, I mean, you never know sometimes when they release some insane support. Being able to boost up attack is just like Warrocks. Who's playing on Warrocks and thinking they're going to catch a dub? I mean, it's going to be a challenge for sure with this archetype. At least that's what you see. And then there's like non-effect monsters, but then you got to go for special summons. It doesn't make sense, at least for the synergy. I guess it's supposed to support the token, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If this is your first time here, you want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards as soon as they get announced, hit subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll definitely see more very soon. Hopefully they'll get more support. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I'm out. Peace.